Today we are going to study more examples related to if structure. Okay, so we have already studied one program and there are a lot of programs related to if structures. Two or three we will study and then we will go to see that how user defined functions we can write. Then we can also study that how we can trigger an event or what are the events we can use in JavaScript. Okay, before that, what is event? How we can trigger it? What is the method to trigger any event? And why we require that event that we are going to study? Okay, so almost 34 participants now. Now see here is the one program. Now I'm going to write other program in a notepad. So now we are going to jump on a notepad. Okay, now tell me in a chat box, can you see the notepad screen? Can you see the notepad on screen? Yes, give me reply. Yes, okay. So here is the general structure of HTML in which we have written the script language. Script language is equal to JavaScript, means we are going to embed JavaScript in this program, and we have to write the whole code inside the JavaScript. A script language, a script tag. Okay, so here is the statement. Here is a. Here we have used the confirm method. Here we are using document is an object and write is a method of the function. Okay, now here I'm going to write a program that divisibility divisibility checker. It is a similar to the previous one. This program is related to divisibility checker. Now you have to check that the entered number by user is divisible by 5 or not. Okay, you have to check that the entered number by user is fully divisible by 5 or not. For that, first of all, we have to declare a number as a variable. Now here is I'm using no as a number. No is a variable which is used to store a number. Now no is equal to prompt. No is equal to prompt in bracket double inverted comma enter a number. Now this number you have to use to check that if we divide this number by 5, then we are getting fully divisible or not. Okay, so here I am going to write a condition. If is a small scale. So if the given number, that is no, if the given number no mod 5 double equal to 0, means if I divide the given number by 5, then shall I get the remainder as a 0? We are getting two answers, yes or no. Here we are getting two answers, yes or no. Okay, so now here I am going to write a code. If no double equal to 5, then document dot write in double inverted comma the given number is divisible by 5 else document dot write document dot write in bracket double inverted comma the given number is not divisible by 5. Okay, see, document dot write the given number is divisible by 5, else document dot write the given number is not divisible by 5. Okay, so these things we have written with the condition. That means if this condition evaluates to true, then this statement will you see on screen. If this condition evaluates to false, then this this will not execute, but this will execute. With this true block, this is a false block, this is the true statement, this is a false statement. When the condition is true, then this statement will display. If the condition is false, then this statement will display. Now we'll check the output. I save this file and I'll check the output. Okay, now to check the output, okay, now can you see the program? Can you see the program that is asked enter a number? Yes, let me know. Okay, now here I'm going to enter number 10. Okay, here I have entered number 10. When I click on OK button, when I click on OK button, then I'm getting here answer the given number is divisible by 5. Right? Here I'm getting the answer that the given number is divisible by 5. I'm again refreshing this and entering here 12. I'm checking it again. When I click on a OK button, then you are getting the answer that the given number is not divisible by 5. Means when you enter 12, okay, the divisibility checker says that the condition evaluates to false, and if the condition evaluates to false, then you are getting the answer that the given number is not divisible by 5. The sentence is written in a false block, whereas when you execute the condition in a previous session, then you saw that the condition evaluates to true, and when the condition evaluates to true, then we get the result that a given number is divisible by 5, which was a true sentence of the true block. Okay, so here we have studied the divisibility rule, how we can apply it. Okay, so this is the program. Yes, I'm showing you program. Yeah, this is the program by which we can check the divisibility rule of number. If I use here 2, then this is the divisibility checker of 2. This program is divisibility checker of 2. Okay, if you want to check that the given number is fully divisible by 3 or 3, then we can use here number 3, here 3 and here 3. So if you want to check the divisibility of 3, okay, then here will be 3, here will be 3. If you want to check the divisibility of 9, here you have to place 9, here you have to change it to 9, here you have to change it to 9. Okay, so this divisibility checker program we can use for any divisibility rule, means any number of divisibility rules. Okay, so if you have notebook with you, then write this program because it is an important program. Many times this program is asked in your examination. Okay, and this program you can use for any divisibility checker for 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, any number. Okay, so this is the program by which you can check the divisibility. Okay, either you can write it in a notepad or you just take a screenshot of this program. Okay, finished. Just let me know if you have completed. Shall I go ahead? Yes, shall I go ahead? Okay. Okay, now we'll come on the function, user defined function. Okay, this part is a very important. Here is user defined function. We have already seen that there are number of functions that are already defined in a JavaScript, and you can use those functions whenever we require in a program. Okay, so those are built-in functions in JavaScript. Those are already defined. But here we have to use user defined function. Okay, here we have to use user defined function. The main difference between the user defined and built-in function is that the user defined functions we have to define or user has to define. And if you study the built-in function, then there is no need to define a function which are already defined in JavaScript. Those are called built-in functions. Those you don't have to define. Okay, so what is the difference? User define has to define by user, and the built-in functions you don't have to define. Okay, this is the main difference of user define and built-in function in JavaScript. Now here we will see user defined functions. A function in any scripting and programming language is a small part of program that we require again and again. It helps to make programs smaller. A function is a subprogram designed to perform a particular task. Functions can be called either by an event or giving call to that function. Okay, this part is a very important. What this part is says that here is the this part is a very important. What it's saying that it says that function can be called either by event or by giving call to function. Okay, means if you want to call a function, if you want to execute function, then you have to trigger a particular event. Okay, now what is this event? What is the action? What is the function? Okay, that we are just studying here. Suppose, okay, I'm looking for the blank part over here. Just a minute. Okay, so here is a blank part. Here I'm explaining you. Okay, see, here is a car. Okay, car has some properties. This part we have already studied, but we are just revising it. Car has some properties. What are those properties? First is a model number, model name, right? Next property we can say company name, company name. Next we can say color, color of car. Next we can say fuel, means it's diesel car or petrol car. Next we can say type, that is a sedan or hatchback. Okay, so these are the properties we can say. These are the properties. In properties, what we can consider a car having a model name, company name, color, fuel, and type. Okay, so model name will be just like a VXI, a ZXI. Company name will be Maruti Suzuki, Toyota. Color will be black, then yellow, then red, gray. Fuel may be petrol or diesel. Type may be sedan or hatchback. Okay, so these are the different properties of car. So what we can say, the car is an object. Car is an object, and this object has these properties. The object has these properties. Okay, now what are the different actions we can carry on a car? What are the different actions? What are the different methods we can say? What are the process we can carry on a car? The first is accelerate. Accelerate the car. Accelerate the car means to speed up the car. While you're driving, when you press on accelerator pad, then automatically your car will get a speed. To speed up your car, you require to accelerate. Without acceleration, you can't speed up your car. Or you can move your car by using accelerating it. Right? If you want to stop your car, then you have to brake it. Brake the speed. By just pressing the brake, you are stopping your car. Okay, so to stop a car, to brake the car, you can say these are the two actions, that to brake or to stop car. Here you can say to accelerate or to speed up the car. To speed up the car. Okay, so to accelerate, to speed up the car, to brake car, to change the gear. Okay, next thing is to change the gear. And at the time of changing the gear, you have to press the clutch. To press clutch. Yes, whose mic is unmuted? Whose mic is unmuted? Who is this? Who is this reconnecting? Yes, who is this reconnecting? Okay, so action, methods, and process. Actions, methods, and process. What are the different actions that we can carry on car to accelerate or to speed up the car? If you want to stop your car, to press brake or to break up the car or break up the speed of car, to stop, to change the gear, and to press the clutch. Okay, so these are the different actions, these are the different process that we can carry on car. Now we will see event. Now we will see event. Now always keep in mind, when we trigger any event, then process or action starts. When we trigger any event, when we trigger any event means when we execute any event, then the process, method, actions, process, methods, action starts. Okay, so process, methods, and actions we have to start by using events. Means when we trigger any event, when we execute any event, then by executing or triggering that event, we can process any action. How it is possible? Now see, if you want to accelerate the car, you have to press what? You have to press accelerator pad, right? Means here, what is event here? To press accelerator car as pad is the event. To press accelerator pad is an event. Means when you press accelerator pad, then your car will get speed, car will accelerate, right? When you press brake pad, when you press brake pad, then what will happen? The car will stop or it will break up the speed, break down the speed. Okay, so by pressing brake pad, you can stop your car. By shift, shifting gear to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and reverse. By shifting gear to first gear, second gear, third gear, fourth gear, fifth gear, and by reverse gear, we can change the direction and speed of the car. Okay, the moving speed of the car, by we can adjust by shifting the gear. So to shift the gear, to shift the gear is an event, but there is one more event we have to, there is one more event we have to trigger, that is to press clutch pad, to press clutch pad. Okay, when you press the clutch pad, then your car will get smooth, and when your car gets smooth, you have to shift the gear instantly. Okay, means two events I have to trigger at the same time to shift the gear. The first event that to press the clutch pad, and when you press the clutch pad, your car will get smooth, and at that time you have to shift your car gear. Okay, when you shift your car gear, then your car will get speed up. Okay, so two events you have to trigger at a time to speed up your car. What are those? To press the clutch and to shift the gear. Okay, so two things you have to execute at a time. You have to trigger at a time. Okay, so you try to understand what is event. Events mean such a thing which we have to do to carry out some action. To execute some action, we have to do something. When you do that thing, when you do something, then that particular action takes place. So what we will do, that is events. And what the car will do, that is the action of car. And that you can say is a function of car. Okay, and what are the properties means different things which is nothing but the appearance or the characteristics of the object that we can consider as the properties. So here are properties, actions or functions. Okay, you can also name here a function, and here are the different events. So by using particular event, you can execute an action or the process or any function, and these are the different properties which by using which we can change the appearance of object. Okay, so always keep in your mind, this is the structure of object oriented scripting language or the object oriented programming language. The everything is a depend upon the object. Each and everything is a depend upon the object. So see here, car is an object, and these are the different things which we can carry on the object. Okay, before that we have already seen the document object. Document object is there, and write is a method, write is a function. So write comes over here, document is here, document will come here. Now documents background color will come here, documents foreground color will come here, document size will come here, documents height width will come over here. Means the documents properties are come here. And what are the different actions we can carry on the document? That document dot write, document dot read. These things we can carry on the document. That those things comes in the action process methods or functions. And what are the different which we can carry on the document? That is the onload, overload, mouse click, on click, double click. Okay, whatever the user do to do something on the document, that is nothing but the event. When user click on the left side mouse button, then left click will even this will be event that will be trigger when when user click on the left mouse button. When user click on a right side mouse button, then on right mouse click event will trigger. Okay, so there are number of events which we have to study. Number of events which we have to study. Okay, so events, whatever the events we can use in JavaScript, those are here. So I'm showing you the different events that we can study in JavaScript. See here, the first event, what is it? On mouse out. Okay, I'm removing these other things. Now here is the on mouse out. What the on mouse out says, when user moves the mouse away from an element. When user moves mouse over any element. See, I am moving this mouse pointer. I am moving this mouse pointer on this OK button. This is the moving of mouse pointer on OK button. When I move this mouse pointer from here to here, then the event on mouse out will trigger for this particular button. Okay, when I move this mouse pointer from, this is the document, right? When I move the mouse pointer from this document to outside, then move on mouse out event trigger for this particular document. Okay, on mouse out means to move mouse pointer outside the given element. Okay, to move mouse pointer out from the given element, out of scope from the given element, then you can say that that mouse event is triggered. So here is a on mouse out event which is used when mouse pointer move from the location. From the location. Next event is a on click event. When you click on any object, when you click your mouse button, at that time the click event trigger means on click event trigger. Means when you press the mouse button, then on click event triggers. When you press mouse button, then this on click event trigger. Now on mouse over, when you move mouse inside the element, okay, it is opposite to on mouse out. On mouse over means to move the mouse inside the element, then this event trigger. And when move out from the element, then it is called on mouse out. Okay, so these two events are opposite to each other. When you move mouse inside the element, that is called on mouse over event. That time on mouse event will trigger, on mouse over event will trigger, and when you move outside, then on mouse out event will trigger. Okay, and when you click any object, when you click on any element, then on click event is a trigger. Now here is a on mouse up. On mouse up, when user release a mouse button, means there are two events carries when you click any mouse button. When you click at that instant, when you press mouse button at that instant, on mouse down, this event trigger, and when you release the pressed mouse button at that time, on mouse up event triggers. Okay, so there are two different buttons, events triggers when you click mouse button. Okay, so concentrate over here because I'm going to ask the questions regarding to these events. Okay, in last part of the session, I will ask you what are the use of these type of events. I will ask you, you have to tell the event. When I tell you action, you have to tell the related event. Okay, now these things are related to mouse. What are the different events? On mouse out, on click, on mouse over, on mouse up, and one more event you have to say here, that is on mouse, on mouse down. Okay, so on mouse up, on mouse down. These two we can consider as a, when you click a mouse button, then these two events triggers at a time. On mouse up when you release the mouse button, and on mouse down when you press the mouse button. On click, when you click a mouse button, means when you press the mouse button and within a second you releasing it, then on click method or on click event will trigger. And on mouse out when you move outside from the element, on mouse over when move inside the element. Okay, so these are the on mouse, on out, on mouse out, on click, on mouse up, and on mouse down events. Now the next part is related to keyboard related events. Only two keyboard related events we have to study here: on key press, on key up, and on key down. Okay, on key press is not given, but you have to consider that one key element, one event is also used, that is on key press, which is widely used. On key press, on key down, on key up. On key press means this event triggers when you press any keyboard button and release within a second. Okay, when you press any keyboard button and when you release it within a second, then on key press event triggers. When you press keyboard button, then on key down event triggers, and when you release the pressed keyboard button, then on key up event triggers. Okay, so there are three different event triggers here: on key up, on key down, and last one is on key press. Okay, so here are three different keywords or the events, keyboard events are used: on on key down, on key up, and on key press. Okay, now here the features of JavaScripts are given. Okay, features of JavaScript means what is use of JavaScript. Okay, what is use of JavaScript that we. Okay, so okay, now here we will see the what are the different features in JavaScript. The first feature or first use you can see to perform input data validation. Okay, this is the main purpose of JavaScript. Okay, why we are using JavaScript in our program? That to perform input data validation means the entered data in a form is valid or not, that can be checked by using JavaScript. Okay, so this is the first thing that you when you entered any email ID in an email box, that email ID is a correct or not. This validation is done by using JavaScript. Second feature it is a lightweight scripting language. It is a lightweight scripting language means you can use it on any browser. You cannot you don't have to use any compiler or you don't have to use any interpreter to interpret the scripting language. Okay, so when you don't require compiler to any execute any program, when you don't require any interpreter to execute any program, then that type of language is called as scripting, lightweight scripting language. Okay, so this is the second feature of JavaScript. Now the third feature of JavaScript is that it is a case sensitive scripting language. So you have already studied that when you want to write any code, when you want to write any program in JavaScript, then you have to check the capital and small letters properly. Okay, when you make a mistake to write a syntax, to write any code in a proper manner, then you will not get desired output in JavaScript. So case sensitivity is a main feature of JavaScript that you have to maintain while writing a code. Next is it makes web page more interactive. By using JavaScript effect, we can make our program or we can make our website more effective, more dynamic. Okay, so to make more dynamic, more flexible, more interactive, we are using JavaScript. By using JavaScript, we can slide the text on web page. We can move picture on picture or overlap one picture on other picture using JavaScript. We can create a banners, sliding banners on JavaScript. Okay, those flexible things or we can say dynamic effects we can generate in a JavaScript by using in website using JavaScript. Okay, so this is the fourth feature of JavaScript. Now the fifth feature is it can handle date and time effectively. Okay, means by using the JavaScript, we can display the current date and timing of system. we can display the date and timing of server as well as we can display the date and timing of client. Okay, so we can manipulate this date and time using JavaScript, and this the feature is provided in JavaScript because JavaScript so that we can display as well as manipulate the date and type. Okay, so these are the different 5 features which we have already studied in JavaScript. Okay, and here we have studied event. Now here we have to study how to write a user defined function. Okay, now here we will study how to write a JavaScript function. Why I took this part before, that will you realize now. Okay, why I took this before the function, and then I'm going to study the function, that you will get up now. See here function, how we can write the function. There is a specific syntax to write the function. The function, this is the fixed keyword we have to use. Then name of the function, it depend upon you, whatever you name you want to specify to the function, that you can keep over here. Then brackets, inside the brackets you have to mention the parameters or the arguments. Number of arguments or number of parameters you can enclose in the brackets. Whatever the code you have to write inside the function, means whatever the code you have to execute when you call this function, those things you have to write inside this curly bracket. Okay, this curly bracket is nothing but the statement block which you have to repeat it again and again. Okay, so this is the syntax of the function. How we can write the function? It is a simple way function. This is the fixed keyword. Show is the name of function. Here, if no arguments are there, no parameters are there, then empty brackets. Here we have defined the curly bracket, and inside the curly bracket, here I have written a statement or the block of statement. Here I am using only one statement. But even though if you want to write a one statement, you have to enclose it in curly bracket. Suppose this function, if you want to call, now the actual whatever we have studied previous, that come over here. Now if you want to call this function, then just by naming the function you can call it. Now in this program where it is called, see here, script language JavaScript show, here is the calling function, and then it is closed over here. Means if you want to execute the code written inside the curly bracket, then you can do it by writing the name of the function. When you write the name of the function, control jumps from here to first statement of the block. Now if here only one statement is given inside the block, then this statement will execute and control goes from here to here. Now control goes to /script. So now control jumps from here to /script. Okay, so see here, first this element or this part is executed, and after executing this part, the control jumps to the next statement of this calling function. So function is a calling, but just by giving its name. Okay, and other thing, this function can be also triggered or can be called by using event. These functions we can call by event. Now how we can call the functions by any event? So you can see over here. Can you see the on click over here? Now in this program, function is written in this way. Function check, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket, and inside the opening and curly bracket, closing bracket, these code or some instructions are written over here. And if I want to call this function, then by using this event, I write the check button means I call this function by just on click event. On click event carries on the submit button means when I click on the submit button, then the check function will call. When the check function will call, the control directly jumps to the first instruction of opening and closing curly bracket. It execute one by one all instruction, and then control jumps to next statement of calling, that is slash call. Okay, so by two ways we can call any user defined function. The first way is just by writing the name of function, and second way that by triggering any event. Okay, so any function we can call by two ways, either by triggering any event or by just giving name of the function. Okay, so these things you have to study and you have to implement it in the next session, which we are going to study as a syllabus of 12th standard. Okay, till now we were studying the syllabus of 11th standard. This is the basic things which we have studied: how to write a function, how to execute the function, how to define the function. Those things we have studied here. After studying this part, we will jump on the next upcoming session that is related to the advanced part of JavaScript, that is syllabus of 12th standard. Okay, so understood this part. I'm considering that this part is easy to understand because it is only theoretical part. You have to just study theory. If you want to implement this part, then we will jump on the next syllabus. Okay, now